Brayden Stanley after a sensational 2021 season. Back in the garage for a recap. How you going, Brayden?
Good, thanks.
Tell us firstly a little bit about 2021.
It was pretty good. Managed to run 2 classes last year, the IF15 and the IF14-2, and pretty action-packed and managed to bag a couple wins.
We did have a COVID interruption in the middle of that. What did you get up to in the downtime?
Pretty much the same as last time, just jumped on VRC and tried to prepare for when it started back up.
2021 was another great year for you. Tell us about some of your on-track achievements.
We started off at the IMCC Cup. We managed to TQ and win in Stock EP and Nitro Tourer. Then we moved to Queensland for the state titles. And I managed to TQ and win that, and it was my first sanctioned event to win, so that was pretty good. Then we moved on through a couple of XRS rounds, managed to TQ and win them, and went to Canberra for the IF14-2. It was my first event down there, and we managed to win it after some shaky qualifying. And then we moved through to Wayland for the New South Wales state titles, and the car was the best it's been so far, and managed to TQ and win.
So pretty good year and an undefeated run. So.
Yeah.
And how does that feel going into 2022 with that kind of momentum and that kind of performance? Do you feel pressure to continue, with everyone sort of seeing you as that number one target, or is it something you're taking your stride?
I don't think so. I go there, do my own thing, and figure out the car with Dad, have a good time. And if I do well, I do well. It's always a bonus.
We noticed a couple of new sponsor announcements this year. Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, we got the Energy Fuel from Pepe Group, and we'll be running that through 2022 through the OS engines. So we're pretty excited to do that. They're pretty big in Europe, and I'm excited to try and help grow it in Australia. And we also got Samwa, so excited to run a pretty big brand that's been around for a long time, and it's pretty prestigious, so I'm excited to run the M17 and the servos in both my cars.
So looking back at 2021, if you fast forward 5 or 10 years and look back at the 2021 season, what are you going to remember most?
Probably the state titles that I won. And
which one?
All of them. It was pretty good. Once I won the first one, it kind of clicked with me and really built some pretty good momentum, and it was good to bag a couple of wins and really get a taste of what it's like to verse top drivers and manage to bring it home.
We always like checking in with you to see what new tools and gadgets you've had this year. So you got anything to share?
Yeah, we got a banner made up for the 2022 season, and it's got all the sponsors on it, all the people that helped me, and there was a few of us that actually got them made, so Team Infinity are looking pretty good going to the next season.
So we've got a new little segment we want to try with you. So grab that and flip it over and have a look at that photo.
Yep.
And we want to know, what is your earliest RC memory?
I was pitting for Dad at Penrith. He was running GT, and I was just there with Tate, my good mate. And I was filling his car up just before it started up for the qualifier, just making sure it was ready. And I spilled it everywhere because my little hands, a big bottle, trying to get in a big car. I was struggling, and Tate helped me clean it up and hide all the evidence with a rag. And that was probably the earliest memory, because it was quite funny. I believe it's on camera as well.
I'll have to try and dig that out. So that picture you got there is from Tuesday night at PDNR in 2012, and we suspect that is your first ever circuit race. I think you did drag racing before that,
yeah.
But we think that's the first time you drove a car around a circuit. Do you remember what the car was?
Oh, it was a little blue car, I think. Was it? Yeah. It was a car that we were running with white rims. I do remember this car because my sister had a similar one, and she was running black rims on the tyres, and I really wanted black ones. And I do remember this, and I got to run them, and it was one of the best races ever.
Next one. Have a look at that. What do you remember about racing with and against your dad?
Not a lot, because he was usually in the lower qualifier, so I never really raced with him. No, I didn't actually race with him much, but when I did, usually he was in front of me. I do remember one final where we both started, and He got taken out at the start of the first corner. I drove away, and I think I binned at the next corner, but I was really happy because I passed him, but he was in the grass. That's what I do remember from this event. And obviously, the biggest thing from these races I'd look forward to was concourse, because I always get the nicely painted bodies from Darren and Eve. So every time I go event, that's the trophy I'd try and get. So that's good.
So that one's from the 2017 Nationals at Moorebank.
Yeah. I think Jeff Hammond pitted for me there as well. It was the first time I got to meet him. And he pitted for me in the D final, I think, or C final. So that was pretty cool.
So that photo's from a Moorebank Club Day, where you qualified second and finished third. And your rapid improvement over the last year has forced your dad into retirement, and he's now your full-time pit man. How did this phase, where he retired from racing and became your pit man, how did that help take you to the next level, do you think?
Oh, made a massive difference, because running two cars is so hard, because as soon as something goes wrong, it's like a chain effect and it affects the next person. And now Dad being my pit man, if something goes wrong, we can get that fixed really quickly. And it allowed me to just concentrate purely on my racing. And it did take me to the next level, and I started being really competitive after that.
What are your reflections on that photo and that event?
This was definitely the biggest event of my life so far. The ANC was when Kenji from Infinity noticed that I drove quite well at the ANC, because I managed to come 5th and beat a few pretty top drivers around. And that was probably the most nervous I've ever been, being up there on a stool in an A final with some world champions, and managed to have a pretty good race and made a lot of memories there, and pretty much made my future there.
Have you seen this photo before, and can you tell us what's happening?
I believe it was you snuck the photo in during the presentation, and this is when Kenji and Ray brought me aside after Ray put a good word in for me, and Kenji offered me to join the Infinity family, so it was pretty exciting, not knowing what was going ahead. And then obviously not long after this, we'll back at home racing the Infinity.
The only question I've got to ask you on that one is, why are you so cranky with Andy Moore?
I wasn't cranky with him. This was when the race got delayed, and Andy was speaking Thai, I believe it was. And I was talking to Daddy. I couldn't understand him because I was just staying up there. I didn't have anything to do. And they were obviously trying to sort out their car, and I was just listening in. It was a hot day, and it just sounded like jumble to me, so I was really trying to focus in on it. So I wasn't mad at him.
What can you tell us about this photo?
This is a little diff caddy that I come up with one afternoon in here, and put the idea forward to Kenji at Infinity, and they made it a official product of Infinity, and they mass produced and brought it out, which was pretty cool.
Now, how does that make you feel that, you know, as a team driver and part of the Infinity family, even you here in Australia can send ideas off, and they value those ideas and turn them into products for all races around the world?
Yeah, it's awesome, because ideas can come from anywhere, and just because I'm a kid doesn't mean there's something I can't do, which has obviously proved a point with Infinity, and now it's a product.
Cool. Once again, I'm sure there have been a lot of people who have helped and supported you this year. Who would you like to thank, and what would you like to thank them for?
Obviously, the biggest thanks goes to Kenji from Infinity. He's helped me take my racing to the next level over the past few years with Infinity, and I can't wait to see what goes over the next few years with him. Obviously, the next thanks goes to J-Spec Stickers for the decals on all my bodies, and the wraps for all the gear makes it look really good. And it goes Samwa with the servos and M17 radio. They've been performing flawlessly over the last few years. Angie Fuel and the OS1204 are a great combination. Can't wait to see what it offers this year. And SMJ and Creation Model for all the little parts with the cars, and One Up and RC Maker. Little blingy bits on the car make them all look really good. Matrix Tyres for just being a great product for us. Walter RC, he's been supporting me since I was young, and it's an honour to still allow him to do that. and Speedy RC for bringing just about everything for me.
Well, Brayden, thank you so much for your time and taking us down memory lane with some of the photos and giving us a recap on 2021. Anything you'd like to add before we go?
Just a big thanks to my parents for helping me do what I love and helping me go where I can with racing, whether it be throughout the world, hopefully, and around Australia. And my dad coming along with me and my mum supporting me, whether it's on FaceTime or trying to figure out how to use Live RC. It's pretty awesome to have a family that can do that with me, and yeah.
Excellent, mate. Well, once again, thank you for your time and best of luck in 2022, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
What are you looking at? What you looking at? Hey, stop it. Stop. My dad's coming.
Sorry?
He wouldn't want you anywhere near this.
The rivalry between Brayden.
I didn't do that. Hey, why are you still videoing?
I'm videoing you.
Why are you videoing me?
Because you look
I'm
weird.
special.
Yeah,
Special.
because you're special.
Oh, yay. That means I'm
Woohoo! Go, Brayden!
famous. Shut up, please. You're making a fool of yourself.
Hey, baby.
I
I'm
put
gonna put the warmer up, mate.
You're up.
No, no. This one.
Guys,
No, you need to get your car. You need to keep like, listen.
you need to go and get your car ready, Kate.
Mine's already ready, mate. Uh-huh. There's Brayden putting on his clip
What, ready to be
for
beaten?
his car. Huh? There they are.
Is it ready to be beaten? Dad,
You
who's
said you-
Josh Gilbert?
That's the little boy yesterday that broke his car.
Who's going to, is it only me and Brayden
No,
today?
another little boy as well.
Is it the 16-year-old?
No, he's only probably 10.
A bit like me, but he's older than me.
That's his big dad, Chris, helping his little son, Brayden. Huh?
Ow.
Here he goes, putting his fuel in, the fuel bottle. In goes the fuel. Clearly I put some shampoo in it as well so it would lose the race. Still accident-free, Brayden?
No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready at all.
What happened, Brayden?
That's
What happened? Oh no, some fuel spilt in there.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Let's go and watch.
That was a beautiful segue about being competitive now that your dad was pitting for you.
Mhm.
What are your reflections on this event and on that photo?
No, that's it. Didn't expect to take back as well.
Are you wrong? I saw you come over and look at me. I was like, that's weird.